I should probably make that more. Hi, everybody. Who all here? Roll call. It is a Argentine black and white dingo. I'm trying. I figured it'd be cool if I could have a zoomed version and a full, but still working out some kinks. Oh, yeah, my tan paper, though, I only get at Barnes & Noble, though, because the tan paper that they have everywhere else doesn't work well with markers. So I'm guessing you got this, which is fine if you're using like charcoal, color pencils, graphite, stuff like that. But if you're gonna use marker, please don't use that. Your markers will be gone like in 2 days. They'll just eat them live. Yeah, if you want this kind of stuff that can hold on to markers, you need to go to Barnes & Noble's website or to a Barnes & Noble. The sketchbooks look like they're spiral bound cardboard, and they handle markers like a dream. So, yeah, use dry media on that sketchbook. Oh Lord, I keep forgetting to transition this. So sorry. Oh no. If it looks like I haven't done anything for a while, yell at me, because I'm trying to move the camera to where I'm working and I usually forget. What's that, Gabe?
It's the sketchbooks.
You catch it?
Yeah.
Cachet. Yeah, it's weird. I really don't know what those sketchbooks are actually supposed to be used for. Like the cachet ones?
No.
Like, I doubt they intended for people like me to use them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder if they're actually for, like, people who journal or something. Yeah. What are you working on, Gabe?
Fun.
Is he telling her where to go?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Was that with the watercolor you made that one time?
Yeah.
Neat.
Island. Island is here.
Hi, Pylon. You guys hear me? I gotta turn this on. Yes, this is a Tegu. Probably be coloring the one I did yesterday too. After this one. Cool. Thank you. Yesterday I penciled this guy. He's a demolition expert. His name's Boomer. So I'll probably color him in a bit, but I felt like coloring the Tegu right now. Crickets are part of the soundtrack. Here. Sorry. Oh, no worries. Okay, I think the eggs are done. Base of the eggs, I guess. When I work digitally, I have no problem with conveying form and not relying on lines, but when I get back to traditional, I can't seem to manage that. I pretty much rely entirely on lines and it just looks really flat. Any tips on how I get past that? May change my use. Is it just because you're not rendering it when you're doing traditional and you're kind of rendering it as you go with digital, or what do you mean? You might just be better at digital. Like, I know Gabe will do his beginning stages digital and then print them out and then kind of finish them traditionally. So some people just start off better doing their sketches digitally. That could be you. When are my drawings? It could be patience. I mean, I'm kind of the same way. Yeah, I don't know. You just might not be as good rendering traditionally as you are digitally. That's totally fine. You can get better by taking your time and trying to go slower, or maybe just do your rendering digitally. I mean, what do you want to be good at?
I do think though that rendering with pencil takes a hell of a lot longer.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Like one of those, like a piece that Tim might do could take him like
Yeah.
a week to do.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. So it's more that you're not trying to exactly render, though, with your pencil, but you are when you're drawing digitally, I think I'm understanding. Because you say lines. When you say lines, I think you're just doing line work. But are you actually trying to, like, finish the drawing? Like you're rendering? Or are you just doing line art? I think that's where I'm confused. You won't be good at everything. That's gonna take a really long time. You're not gonna be good at everything right away. You gotta kind of pick away at stuff slowly a bit. One of the best and worst quotes I've ever heard is when you're trying to tackle something big, they say, "How do you eat an elephant?" And the answer is just one bite at a time. It's really dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's a decent, I guess, analogy.
I don't know a lot of people that are good at everything.
Yeah.
I don't personally. I don't know anyone who's good at everything.
I'm decent at everything. It's
Yeah.
like you're either like okay at a lot of things or you're really good at something. And usually you'll be good at a lot of things until you find the one thing you want to be good at. So I would just suggest trying everything and seeing what you like and then starting to specialize. Because it is good to be a jack of all trades, but only if you're trying to get different jobs and stuff. But if you're trying to be like, I don't know, a lighting guy for a video game, that's very specific. So it really depends on your end game, what you want to be.
I think also you can look at somebody like Tim, and Tim is really good at digital painting and pencil rendering.
Yeah,
But like you throw him in front of watercolors, can't do it.
yeah.
You throw him on markers, can't do it. Like,
Does Pylon know Tim? I forget.
not sure.
Okay, so like, yeah. Tim can't paint. Like,
No.
he can only digitally paint.
Yeah.
And he can only pencil render. But he cannot traditionally paint. He can't use pastels. He can't use colored pencils. Like, you can't really be good at everything.
Yeah. There you go then. So
Yeah, by hearing how long it takes Tim to... Yeah, but Tim takes way too long anyway,
yeah.
is the problem. Like, you don't have to take that long. You can just do, like, if you were pencil sketching something, let's say, you know, you can render like this fast. Sorry, you probably can't see that. There you go. You can render pretty fast if you're doing like just strokes and hatching and stuff. He does this thing where he does like little circles and he'll just do this forever. Right? So you just have to find the best in between for you where it's not taking too long, it's taking long enough, but you're getting the look you want. There's no right way to do anything. It's just how you want to do it.
Not to mention that we all take forever when we first start.
Yeah, and if you're just starting, go easy on yourself, you know? Don't expect, you know, magnificent results right away. Everything's gonna take time. it's going to take practice, and you're going to have to grind at it daily to get good. It's not overnight. That's why art's so hard.
Yeah, even like we've been doing it for like decade plus, and we still, it's still like, you want to get something done, it's still gonna take like over, like a day to get something completely done.
So what I did with markers, let's say for an example, is one day I got sick of just doing, I think at the time I was doing ink and colored pencil, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna get good at markers now. So every day I would grind and grind and grind on markers, and that was probably like 4 years ago now. So I would say I'm decent at markers. I still don't think I'm good at markers, but I think I'm decent. I don't even know where good would be, honestly. I just know I'm comfortable with them. Just make sure you get the right paper if you're going to use marker. I find it pretty cool though, all you guys seem to want to try marker now. Like, I haven't met many people who actually want to do markers, but it seems now that I've been kind of pimping them to people, they've been wanting to give them a shot, so that's really cool. More power to you. I'll be here if you have questions. Then again, it is good to, once you start understanding how the medium works, to figure out, what kind of paper and stuff works for you. Because this paper that I found it just by trying it, and finding out, oh, this is good with markers. No one told me it's good with markers. I just tried it. So a lot of it's experimenting with what, you think you'd want to work with, and then finding out, okay, this paper behind it sucks with markers, but this is good. So I'm going to keep buying this, and I like tinted paper. I don't like white paper, it makes me feel kind of naked. So you really gotta, sometimes not take people's word for it, and just go try things. Like I said, there's no right or wrong to this. It's just what you prefer. It's all preference. Like, if you wanted to paint with acrylic on napkins and that was your thing, go for it. If that works for you, awesome. That's art. You're doing art.
I am arting.
You're arting. Like, people always think they need the right tools, the most expensive of everything. Absolutely wrong. You don't need the best of everything. You don't need the right of everything. There's stuff that works better than other things. Like, if you wanted to use this paper for markers, go ahead, but you're going to be, buying markers a lot, but maybe that's okay with you, and you like how it looks. It bleeds a certain way. Maybe you like that. Maybe that's part of what, you prefer. So you really have to try everything. So Wubbles, if you want to use, marker on that paper, go for it. But like I said, you'll be buying markers a lot, but if you like the outcome, go for it. Gabe is actually really good with those. The watercolor brushes that have water in them, he uses those a lot. He could actually do a demo at some point on those. Markers do have a watercolor kind of look to them. Yeah, that is part of the reason I like them. You have to use them a certain way and know what you're doing, but you can get a watercolor look with them. I do prefer these two watercolor just for commissions because watercolor I'd have to wait for it to dry. To get tinted paper would be kind of tough for me. Like I'd have to find some good watercolor paper that's already tinted or tint it myself, and that takes longer. So it doesn't make sense for me to do that, but I get the same effect with the markers. I don't have to buy a ton of markers to get what I like, so yeah, I guess they look like watercolor. They don't work the same, but Gabe, how would you describe using the water brushes? You can't go crazy with them, can you?
You can. It's just the thing with those is that you have to. Like you sort of have to learn how to use it, like, because with regular watercolor brushes, like this water brush is constantly wet, whereas like with a watercolor brush, like you can dry it out and like, play with it, or you can get like a dry effect. But I've been using the water brush for like a decade plus. But it's honestly, you just have to like you have go buy one and then use it. Otherwise, like I didn't know how to use it. Nobody taught me how to use it. I was like the only, I'm the only one that I know that uses watercolor, like out of my friends.
Well, I bought those brushes a while back. It's just I never used them.
That's what I mean. So like
Yeah.
I'm like out of our pool of friends, like
He's the watercolor guy.
I'm the one who uses it the most. I mean, we got like two. Well, we got Allie. I can't think of who else, but Allie just uses it as like she'll use one color.
I've never seen her use those brushes, though.
No, not the brushes, but just watercolor in general.
He's asking about the brushes.
Yeah.
Don't.
No. But what I'm saying is like just watercolor in general. But that's I started learning watercolor with one of those water brushes, water brush pen or whatever. It's nice. It's nice to learn from, and you can carry it around everywhere. But if you don't get one, you're never going to learn how to use it. So I forced myself to use it.
I think Gabe's saying trial by fire.
Yeah, trial by fire.
Jump in and do it.
Because I used to carry around markers like Ashley did, but I carried around like tons of them. I guess probably as many as you did, Ashley, but I think you carry around a lot because you have like backups, whereas I probably carried twice as much as yours because I just needed different colors because I like bright colors.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I couldn't, and my markers would run out, so I would have to.
Hey, Rifter.
I'd have to like I'd have markers die on me all the time. Also because I think I was using wrong paper. My markers would die on me all the time.
You're rambling.
I am. Yeah, just use it. I mean, like, don't worry about the science of it or like, should I use this palette? Should I use that palette? Just use it. I mean, I feel like that's like...
Once you start using things, you'll develop questions, and then you can actually go search for those questions specifically, and then you'll figure out things on your own.
Yeah. It's almost like people, like, trying to look up, like, game FAQs on a game that they haven't even started playing yet. You know, like...
Game facts?
Game facts. I call them FAQs. But you know, like it's like looking up a game fact on a game you haven't even played yet, so that you know how to like play it better once you get it. Like you can't. If it's like a completely new game that like like the game mechanics on it, like you've never seen anything like it. And you're trying to look up ways to learn how to play it before you play it, you can't. You know, like it's not gonna make any sense to you until you actually start to play the game. Then once, like Asha said, once you start playing with it, then you're gonna start developing questions. Like, oh, okay. Well, I hate how this is doing this. How do I fix that?
Uh-oh. I'm confused by two cameras both showing Ashley and Gabe talking but not drawing on screen.
One's a zoom in of mine. This is just me. Gabe's just here. Gabe lives here.
Good luck.
So I figured it'd be good to show an overall shot of the piece and then a zoomed in version because I noticed you guys couldn't really see what I was doing when it was just the full thing. So it's not a dual stream yet. I don't know why Gabe's being pokey. Whatever.
Are you invited?
You have to ask.
I can't ask, Ashley.
Yes, you can.
I am vampire.
Vampire.
I am vampire.
Yes.
Are you vampire? That blood, that beauty. Are you a vampire? Ooh, Castlevania. Oh, no, it's my favorite one.
Best way to learn anatomy is to draw from life. I would not use tutorials or books as crutches. I know too many people who got a little bit obsessed with that. The best thing to do is to go to like a coffee shop or go outside, look at people, draw them from life, keep drawing them, draw and draw and draw and draw. Do gesture studies that are like 5 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, half an hour, stuff like that. There's a bunch of apps you can download that assist you with that. So if you want a little alarm that tells you, okay, next pose, you can get things like that. But honestly, I think you can learn better from life. I learned that when a bunch of people were drawing, the same thing they saw in books, and you're not actually understanding how the body works then, or how it connects. Not only that, but if you're drawing like something that's super stylized, you're kind of learning their style instead of developing your own. And not only that, but then you're a step away from drawing the actual thing, so you're interpreting something someone else already interpreted. Instead of just interpreting through your own mind filter what you're seeing, that becomes your style. Whereas if you're drawing something that someone already drew, stuff like that, you're drawing a drawing of something real. So it's better to do it from the source always.
It's like eating something somebody already ate.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the same amount of
Nutrition.
Yeah, like a brain nutrition from it.
That's a very extrapolated view of what I just said,
Yeah.
but it applies somewhat, maybe.
Like those Andrew Loomis books, those are cool, but if you already know this stuff, it's like you already sort of know how to draw anatomy, and you're like, how do you draw that one thing? I can't remember it. So you go back. It's like a reference book. Then you go back. You look at it. Oh, right. Thanks, Loomis.
Yeah, I think anatomy books should be used more as a, like just a quick reminder and not an actual crutch. Like, I had a friend who all he did was draw from books. And A, he wasn't learning anything. B, he couldn't draw from his mind.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing is when you're drawing from life, you're retaining what you're seeing better. It's like when you're in class and you're writing down notes as opposed to either typing them or just recording the lecture. Because you're recording the notes different ways. You're writing them, you're listening, you're seeing as you're writing. You're retaining a lot more so that your visual library is getting full of all these things you're seeing. So as opposed to a book, which is just basically one view of one thing that's already been seen, And like I said, you're not seeing all sides of it and things like that, all aspects. I mean, if you don't want to go outside to do that, you could also, there are 3D, there's this one pose thing I use sometimes. It's called, I think it's Pose Tool. No, I don't know. But there's this one thing you can use where you can rotate a model. So I'd still be very hesitant to recommend that, but if you're in a pinch, something that kind of you can rotate around and understand it is a lot better and beneficial than, a book. Books and photos, I guess, even. Hopefully that helps. See, I keep forgetting to move the camera again. What are they doing?
No idea. They're playing Switch.
Oh, they're inside?
I think.
I thought they were outside.
No. They've been sitting by. Earlier they were sitting by, or like at his desk.
Oh. Oh, good.
No,
What?
I remember this one time I went to. It's really weird like that. I kept going back to my school. Like it was almost like it's so odd. Like the first time I went to my school, there was this guy that we knew who was like, "Hey, I know this guy." I think it was Elio. He was like, "I know this guy who goes to the school, and they have life drawing. Uh, we should go. It's only like $5 if you guys want to go. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like 3 hours or whatever." And they're like, "Oh, awesome! Yeah, let's go." So like me, Cleo, and Elio and somebody else I think went, and it was at my school. And this was like a decade before I went.
Oh.
Not decade, close to it, whatever. As I remember, the lady was late,
Mm-hmm.
and when she showed up, she got like naked and stuff, and she's like, "I'm really sorry I'm late. I got like attacked by a bunch of dogs," and we're like, "What?" And she was like really like, like jittery, and like she just looked a little crackish.
Okay.
And so she just had like cuts like all over her body. Like, what the hell? Like, all right. So she was like doing all these poses and stuff, and like she was fine afterwards. But it was like, holy hell! Like this lady must have really needed to like either get the money or something. But she like, I don't know. It was like traumatizing for my first time to do life drawing with like a lady who's like sort of bleeding. Um,
Yes.
Which is weird.
That is very weird. I can't compete with that. If you guys are wondering why I'm drawing dots all over these eggs, it's because they're quail eggs. Quail eggs look very different than regular eggs.
Who were y'all?
they're tiny.
Oh. Is that what those eat? Do they eat them?
Yeah.
Oh. Where did you even get them?
You can get them at the grocery store.
Really?
They're next to regular eggs.
I wonder how those taste.
No, you don't get very much of them,
No.
obviously.
Okay, but real talk. Chili, right?
Yeah.
Did you want your own can of chili?
I also am debating going to Pick and Save for a few things. We went to the gym today, right?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
It's funny. Like, it feels like it's been like hours since.
I feel like I've been up for days right now. I don't know why. It's bothering me. Very tired. Maybe I should get coffee today, but just like one shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I can start weaning better than... I can't go cold turkey.
Yeah.
I've tried too many times. I think the first time I kicked caffeine I did.
Mm.
But since then I haven't been able to.
I imagine that, like, did you do that when you were working?
Yeah. So that was hard. But at the same time it wasn't. I was thinking that the campfires didn't have as much as Starbucks puts in.
Yeah.
So Caribou, I think, was a lot lighter on the caffeine in general.
Mm-hmm.
Is it also bad practice to draw from photos? Find good close out in real life. It is, just because, like I said, you get too reliant on it. So, like, if you sit down at your desk then and you want to draw a horse, could you draw a horse without a photo? Or would you need a photo of a horse? So you have to, like, if you do use photos, I would balance it with a lot of just, you know, videos, maybe even. Just make sure you're not solely doing it from photos.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will just stick to drawing from photos or like whatever they see on their computer or whatever, or in books. Like they'll draw from that. But the ones who excel at it go out. You know, like give yourself a day out of the week to go to like a coffee shop for like 2 hours and just sketch what you can of people sitting around or walking around.
And the things you want to draw that you have no access to, like this tegu. Obviously, I didn't find a picture of a tegu on a throne of quail eggs in a robe and stuff. I take what I know from what I've seen over time and practiced and make you synthesize it in your mind. because I've seen things. I use my own hand for this. I could even show you. So when you do use reference, you have to use it correctly. There is a right and a wrong way to use reference. In this case, let's see if I can show this. So here's a photo of my hand I took the other day, because I wanted to make sure I got all the fingers right and the finger shapes right for the Tegu. So then I applied it to his, which his are up here. But obviously a Tegu's hand is not my hand, so I had to adjust to certain things, like, you know, he has long nails, he has one less joint than I have in my finger, you know, so you gotta take one of those off. Sometimes they don't have as many fingers as you do, so you have to pick what finger is what. But you can have a loose reference, just don't, like I said, use it as a crutch. So for a griffin, I would look up videos probably on majority of what a griffin is. If I remember right, it's like a lion mixed with a hawk. So the bottom part, look up lions and see how they walk, see where their joints are, you know, kind of create what I've been calling like a hack in your head just for you of how to appropriately do that. Maybe I'm thinking of a manticore. I think a manticore is a lion, a bird, and a scorpion. But yeah, eagle, definitely look up for, you know, how their beaks work and stuff, where their neck attaches, because you'll have to take that. You probably just take the crest of the eagle head, and that's a good way to transition it into the lion. So just think of how you would kind of piece together, you know, an animal. Have fun with it too. Think of what you'd do if you were a kid, you know. Heck, you don't even, since they never existed, take your own, you know, view on them. Do what you want to do with it. Sure, it's got like basic things you might need to get in, like the fact it's an eagle and part of a lion, but you could even mix something else in that, you know, is just cool. Have fun. How am I thinking of being a kid? Not thinking of being a kid, thinking like a kid. Like a kid would with, you know, how they imagine imaginary things, you know? I mean, you have to kind of do that if you're going to eventually think of your own stories and stuff, your own characters. You have to do that. There is a childlike wonder to what we do. You know, you have to think about it like that. Wobbles, that's just someone's interpretation of that griffin, though. Like a griffin from Narnia is probably different than a griffin from the Golden Compass is different from another griffin. That's one artist's take on a griffin. You could do your own take on a griffin. You know, you don't have to copy what somebody else has done. You can do your own thing. Like I said, no rules, remember? Like this, being an artist is all about flexing your brain and, you know, showing what you know of the world in your own way. So, you know, if you get too caught up thinking, oh, is this right? You know, should I be doing this like this? You're missing the point and you're wasting your time. You really have to just go for it and get weird sometimes, you know? It's the whole knowing the rules to break them. It's good to know what a Tegu looks like so I can do it like this. So I took kind of what I know about lizard anatomy after drawing lizards and then applying it to what I know about medieval costuming and where, you know, medieval stuff like breaks up in the joints and things, and, you know, it's a lot of research too, knowing what something would wear. It's just research, honestly, it's research and synthesizing. You know? Over and over and over again. Because I know Gabe and I really excel at this sort of stuff just because we're so curious. You know, we'll be sitting together sometimes, be like, how does this work? I don't know. And then we'll look it up. And then it's like you figure that out. Oh, that's cool. What did this culture do way back in this day? Well, I don't know. Let's look it up. And then it's like, oh, that'd be a cool story element. Well, can we work with this in? You know, it's all stuff like that. Cute, Rifter. But that's what I'm saying too. You shouldn't exactly look at griffins because that's someone's interpretation. This is the whole, you know, look at the things that they're based on. So lions and eagles, and synthesize your own griffin instead of looking at how someone else synthesized a griffin. It's kind of, and if you do look at them, you can look at them for inspiration, you know, of how someone did it. Oh, okay, but don't copy it again or do something the same way. Make sure to mix it up, or else you're not doing anything new. You're not really contributing anything art-wise, you know. Gabe, interrupt me if you think I'm wrong.
You are not wrong. As a reference. Got it.
Just be careful you're not. Sometimes you'll look at something and redraw it later and not know you did it. It's tough. Like sometimes though, I'll look up things just to make sure I'm doing something different that someone else hasn't already done. That's when it gets really difficult. And that's when it's good to be aware of what's out there already. Weird.
Hmm.
How are they out of sync?
Weird. Maybe because it's like the computer processing.
Yeah, maybe. Should I just go back to the 1? Huh?
Hold on. My thing is like restarted. Or it's. I got an ad.
Do you guys like the 2, 1 zoomed, 1 full, or should I go back to mainly zoomed and then once in a while zoom out? Because I don't know if I like it either. I think I like the zoom out and then once in a while show the full thing. Oh, you like the 2? Okay. I want pizza.
You want pizza?
I want pizza.
Oh, pizza.
Mm. It's difficult because there's no way to actually do it. You have to figure out your own way to do it. That's why it's hard. And that's why it's a lot of soul searching. You have to figure out what you actually like. And a lot of people don't know what they like. Which is kind of funny when you think about it. If it were easy, everyone would do it. Absolutely. I hate to say it, but it never really isn't frustrating. It's always going to be frustrating to an extent. And there are some days it'll feel like it clicks. There will be other days where it doesn't work at all. Congratulations, you're an artist.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest part is when you try to make a business out of it and you have to try to control it. And art is very based on moods. And if you're not in the mood, you have to figure out how to conjure up like being in the mood. And it's not easy. Especially if it's business based. That's why when people do the whole, that's too expensive for that. It's like, no, you have no idea what's happening, do you? People don't know how much time and effort is put into something over years of time to get to being able to draw it quickly or to know what you're doing. Like, when you make it look easy, people think it should be cheap. But the reason it looks easy is because you know it so well. And you've practiced so hard. To each their own, Rifter. To each their own. If that's how you get it, good. Be careful with the whiskey, though.
I drink a shot of whiskey about never.
Yeah.
Gross.
Music is my way, too, usually. That, or just, I'm at the point where I can kind of dwell on an idea for a little bit, and then I'll start getting in the mood for it. It's kind of like exercise. You don't want to do it, you don't want to do it, you start getting up, start walking, maybe you want to do it now, you get on the elliptical, treadmill, what have you, you start going, you're like, okay, maybe I'm feeling like it now, and by the end you're glad you did it. That sort of thing. Yeah, definitely that. The other artists working, that's huge. Good one. Yeah, if you're not feeling like it, maybe just don't even think about it and go Google, art tutorial or something, and just watch someone's just going. And then you'll be like, yeah, I could do that, sure. I'm just like you, Wubbles. I have a playlist for every story. I'm gonna set this aside and flap the other one. God. Crashing. When does Pick and Save close today?
11.
How big is she?
Mm.
So these trees make her look huge.
No, it's just like bushes and stuff.
Oh. Man, I would do something to show scale because there's no frame of reference here. Because those look like trees. Maybe throw in a little boulder or rock and some like purple flowers
Oh, okay.
or something.
Yeah.
Blonde girl, huh? Mm.
Why not? Why not?
These puppies, all black, except for his face. Sometimes Tim slips into Pee Wee Herman. I just realized that.
You should probably rephrase
Why?
that.
Oh. No, I'm gonna leave that.
Seeps right into it.
He does, though.
He does, yeah. I remember when I was a kid, Pee Wee Herman was like, like the it thing, like.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And everyone, like, around my age was trying to imitate him,
Oh, yeah.
Like, everyone. Everyone would do the dance, all that stuff.
And?
It's just, like, I always thought it was, like, annoying.
Yeah. Though I think that was past. Tim was not during that time. I don't think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, way past. You've probably never even seen Pee Wee Herman.
You mean Paul Rubens himself or Pee Wee Herman? Pee Wee Herman?
Yeah,
Like the show?
Yeah, the show.
I bet he's seen a movie.
Mm.
Yeah, it was something like that. But now it's been so much time past that it seems like no one cares anymore. Same happened with Chris Brown. Beat up some woman for a year or something, you suck, and then all of a sudden, man, new single. Everyone forgets everything.
But to be fair, though, I think he was doing it at, like, a porn theater. So, I mean, like, people do that there anyways. Paul Rubens, I think? Right?
Well, and then I talked about Chris Brown.
Ah.
I think they're both kind of bad. I think I'd be equally disturbed by a public masturbator as by a guy who's domestically abusing a woman. I don't know. I don't know. They're both pretty bad. Tough call. I mean, yeah, but there's mental stuff. But I guess I wouldn't be found there, so it wouldn't affect me. The people going there, I guess, would probably be pretty expecting of that sort of behavior. I don't know. I forgot porn theaters exist. I forgot that is a thing.
I don't think they don't have a lot of them these days, though. It's just because of...
I don't even know where they are.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, because of the internet now, like, I'm sure they don't have them as much as they
Like,
used
who
to.
would want to go watch porn with other people in public? That seems so weird.
I think it was harder to get like a TV, and then also like a VHS, So I think it was like
It's Paul
70
Rubens, man.
60s, 70s, 80s were probably like big. Like Times Square used to be like liquor store, porn shop, liquor store, porn shop, liquor store.
I get that, but still. And yes, I'm letting the Tegu sit for a minute and set up before I go more with it. I figured I'll flat this in the meantime. See? Pee Wee Herman. I wonder if he knows he sounds like that when he does that.
Probably doesn't.
Because Tim, when he laughs, sometimes sounds like Pee Wee Herman. Sorry. Didn't mean to go there, but
Yeah, that is a weird,
he really did.
weird tangent.
Sometimes he sounds like the guy from Revenge of the Nerds, other times he sounds like Pee Wee. And you guys probably don't even hear how Tim laughs on his streams. He probably doesn't ever really like laugh, I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
His boisterous laugh.
Yeah, his really hard laugh.
I bet it's usually probably like, ha ha.
Yeah, his haha. Haha.
That's quick.
Hmm?
That's quick.
What?
Maybe.
Angela?
Seems like it. Sounds like it.
What the heck? Okay. Weird.
Oh, that's right. Their house.
Mm-hmm. Hmm?
Just talking. Saying weird words.
Hmm.
That one's swimming, not in a hot tub.
Whoa. Shots fired.
His name was Fafnir. He was a strong dragon. All right, y'all. Let's kick it.
Oh gosh. You guys gotta remind me. If you can't see, sorry. Keep forgetting to move it. I might have to just go back to the other way because this is almost too hard for me to keep up with. So I am someone who skips around the entire thing just as I feel. So zooming in on an area is tough. So that means I have to work on that area for a while. Be right back. Candles inside. Hmm?
You said a candle inside?
Yeah, I had a candle going. It's too much. Too much. Babe, do you want to stream?
Maybe.
Hmm?
Maybe. Maybe shortly.
What?
Maybe shortly. How much longer did you want to stream? Can we get a bite of that?
What?
Can we get a bite of these? How much longer did you want to stream?
I don't know.
Ooh, this is wet.
Because I put my mouth on it. When you say runner, do you mean like marathon? Because I run every day. But not like marathon. I run probably 3.5 miles every day. Why do you ask? No, for the most part, we're all pretty healthy.
Except
Like-
for Gabe, he's a fat ass.
No. Gabe does weights, Gabe runs. I run the most probably out of all of us. Tyler does weights and runs. Tim doesn't do anything, but Tim eats well.
Sort of.
That's good, Wubbles. Yeah, I actually lost 50 pounds from running over a year or two period a long time ago. I used to be 185 and then I got down to 135.
It works.
It works. So does the Fitbit though. Like I couldn't have done it without running and my Fitbit.
You're
So-
welcome.
What?
You're welcome.
What's a Fitbit?
Yeah.
Oh, you meant you.
Yeah.
Why didn't you fuss up?
No, I was saying for the Fitbit.
I thought you meant thank you to Fitbit.
No,
For
no,
Fitbit.
no. For getting you into the Fitbit. I want to do a marathon.
I don't know why.
I just want a medal that says I did it.
You can do that with a lot of things that aren't a marathon.
I know.
Like, I run normally and I don't even want to do a marathon. Like, that sounds like hell. I wouldn't want to do that.
I think mainly because like medals are always really cool, but then I realized that the only cool medals are the ones in California
Okay.
because they have marathons all the time, so they have to like one up each other and make them look really good.
Oh. Weird.
So like, I mean, you saw Josh's, right? He has like an Avengers medal.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Can they do that?
Yeah, well, it was like a Disney thing.
Oh.
It was like at Disney or something.
Well. My ex-brother-in-law is like a professional runner, and he's like a track coach and stuff. He runs 30 miles a day. He's the type of runner that his toenails fall off, and he's proud of it, and it's messed up. Like, he's obsessed. It's crazy. Like, he takes the ice baths and everything. 30 miles a day is ridiculous. I don't see how that doesn't hurt. Right? Yeah, horrifying. Like, good on him, but he is rail thin and looks just like no fat on his body at all. But he's kind of addicted to it, which it's hard to say if that's good or bad. I don't know. Like, good on him for being healthy, but at the same time, man, I don't know. Honestly, not for him. He's really fast. I don't know, 6 minutes five or 6 minutes a mile? What would that be? Like an hour running? I don't know. He just loves it though. I agree with you guys. I think that's true. Good call.
Except for pizza.
Shut up, Gabe. Don't say that word. I didn't run that much today to deserve pizza. Then again, it is Saturday.
That's what I'm saying.
You always say that.
But I don't say it on Fridays and Saturdays.
It takes a lot to overdose on vitamins, though.
A lot.
Like, you can overdose on water, too, but it takes a long time.
There are zero reported cases of people overdosing on vitamins. Like, there's a couple, like, that might be, but it's like, they are, like, inconclusive.
Mm-hmm.
but there's like zero overdose things on vitamins.
Well,
'Cause you-
potassium and stuff, though.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that, like nobody has ever died from an overdose of,
Vitamins.
yeah, or even gotten like super sick from it.
Wobbles, yes. Yes, it does, especially when you're calorie counting along with it. So, meaning if you don't burn a certain number of calories, you can't eat the things you want to eat. So, yes, it drives me insane because I love to eat. But for the things that I like to eat, I need to burn a certain amount of calories. So, yes, it does drive me crazy. Which sucks because, like, when I'm at conventions for like 3 or 4 days in a row, I can't run. Granted, I'm still kind of burning calories because I'm lugging crap everywhere, but it's not the same thing. Running is a love-hate relationship for me. I love the effects, I hate doing it.
It's always weird when people say, "Oh, I love running." No, you don't. Don't lie to me. You can't lie to me.
The only people I know that would honestly admit to loving running are people like that ex-brother-in-law, because he, like, when they run too much, they, like, need it.
Oh.
Yeah. So they love it.
It's like that, what's it called? The endorphins they get from it.
Yeah. They like the high. Unfortunately, cycling doesn't really do jack. In all of the articles I've read over the years about cycling, it's not even, like, it can't even compare to running. Running's not my thing either, but I gotta say, it's effective. So it's like one of those do it for your health things, you know.
Yeah, it does suck. Like I've seen a couple people at the gym
Mm-hmm.
over the past year that all they do is cycle,
Yeah,
haven't lost weight.
yeah, they don't lose weight. Like, cycling doesn't. I hate that it doesn't do anything because I would probably like it too, but yeah, look up articles on it. It really doesn't do much.
Maybe they can kick down a wall, but probably not even.
Agreed, Wobbles. When I had my full-time job, that's the reason I got up at 5:30 a.m. I would just get up that early, go run 3 miles, and then go to work, and then I'd feel good all day. Running doesn't either if you do it on an elliptical. That's why I started on an elliptical, because when I was fat, my knees hurt really bad to run. So I did it on an elliptical, and I lost 50 pounds. And I still do the elliptical. So you don't necessarily destroy any part of your body if you use the elliptical. Sorry. Do your research, man! The elliptical has no impact on your feet. It's not like a treadmill. Stuff like that. So if you have knee problems, back problems, all that, elliptical's better for you for running. I just realized I never did one of those posts like, look at me when I was fat, look at me now.
Oh yeah.
That'd probably be pretty funny to do now. And I look forward to the workouts every day because honestly, that's really the only time I am standing or, doing something active because otherwise I'm sitting at a desk like I am right now. I'm doing art. Like, you gotta balance it out or else you're gonna be sick and messed up. Oof, shin splints. I hate shin splints. Yeah, I don't get those on the elliptical. Like, I think I'd have a hard time if somebody's like, do you actually like running? I'd be like, like, when I don't do it, I want to do it, and I like the effects of it, but I don't know if I like it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I would say I would or not. It's tough. Like, I like the effects of it. I like how I feel afterwards. I don't like doing it, though. And then after you start calorie counting and all that, then, like, when you get a, thing of fries and you realize this is 400 calories for this. That was, like, 30 minutes of a run. Is it worth it? No. And then you put it down. You're like, okay. Oh well. Some days you can cheat, obviously, and you should for your mood and everything. But at the same time, some days it's not worth it. Some days it is. What color do I want to do for the barrel? Oh, that's nice. See, that is a bummer about the elliptical is I don't get to be outside, but at the same time, I live in the Midwest, so we don't get a lot of time where it's nice out, We get a few months out of the year, otherwise we have to run indoors. So then it's like, do I just mind running indoors all year, Because otherwise I'd have to, like, stop my gym membership, start it again, after the winter's over and all that junk. So it's like, well, I don't know. I'll just keep doing it. I think I'm going to actually do this as this. Oh, I don't know what to talk about with art right now unless you guys ask me questions. I've decided to change this color, though. So I wanted it to match the gloves. I don't know, do you guys have any questions about art again? Try to answer them. here. Yes, I did. I mean, all the stuff you see me draw is probably for clients. Like, if you only see me draw on the stream, really, or look at my Instagram and stuff, it is mainly for clients, so it is cute. I do draw dark things, or at least I did. Of course, during my high school phase, it was super dark. It was a lot of metal, leather, like worn brown leather stuff, like with robots. It was never like, oh, I do have some like demons I used to do. Shoot. So my dark art, try to find you a, yeah. So I had some stuff a while back. Let me see if I can get it up here. Let's see. Oh man, my stupid block. I'll try to find you a link. Oh, this is horribly broken. But yeah. So if you scroll down on this page, you'll find some old dark stuff. I don't know, I just find that dark art nowadays it's not really necessary. Like, I had a dark childhood and all that, so I already got it out, I feel like. So now it's just, why even... I don't see a point in doing dark art anymore. Yeah, and I think I've tried so hard to get away from bad feelings and things that dwelling in them nowadays to create the art just wouldn't be worth it. So I'd rather draw happy things or cute situations, because I don't really see a need for it. I don't know. At least with me. I'm sure there is an overall need for it, but, you know, some people want to empathize, you know, when they are feeling pain. And I understand that. I can get it. But at the same time, like, I don't need it anymore. So I'm not going to draw it anymore. But yeah, I think everybody goes through a dark phase. So my dark phase, I think, ended in its final form a few years back. But a lot of my high school days were dark art. And before I was fantasy, I was very sci-fi. So a lot of my dark art was very robot-oriented, metal, brown leather, broken things, stuff like that.
There's like a lot of people who do dark art though, or like it's usually
Serious?
Like, huh?
Serious?
No, it's like they're younger.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of like Templesmith though,
Oh.
and like Brahm.
Yeah.
So that kind of dark art, I don't know if it's even technically still dark art. It's just darker. It's not horror. It's just like it's unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not exactly dark, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's the whole why waste time with negativity, in my opinion, at this point in my life as an artist. I'm not saying, dark art is pointless or anything to that degree. I'm just saying, for me, my dark period is over because I'd rather concentrate on the positives than the negatives. Because I still slip into negativity a lot, and I try so hard to get out of that I'd rather not put myself there purposefully to make something because it's not worth it to me. It's just not. And I feel like I would be attracting the wrong kind of viewers that I wouldn't want to, like, I don't know, really talk to, I guess? I don't know.
That makes sense.
Yeah, to be completely honest, you reap what you sow, so if I'm doing dark art, I'm probably gonna get a lot of people who are either sad or really in that part of their life, and I can't really relate to that, so I'd be doing a disservice to them. I'd be doing a disservice to myself. So I really don't think it'd be smart for me to go back to that for any reason. I'm over it! He's gonna have a cute little head, I think. I mean, honestly, all that other crap aside, half of your stuff does better. It can relate to a lot more people. Because normies, typically the people that are just going through their day, all that stuff, they don't really think about the too happies or too darks. They gravitate towards more happier things. Happier things can be okay for kids, stuff like that. Because if you do things that are too dark, you're running the risk of needing to, like, warn people. Like, oh, my stuff is dark, watch out, or, like, if you go to a convention, there's a ton of loopholes you have to jump through. So it's really not worth it unless you're, like, an erotic artist that's making a ton of money, or a dark artist who you can absolutely commit to that for the next 20 years and be okay doing really dark stuff. Otherwise, it's kind of hard, honestly. Like, if you can make it as a dark artist, it's pretty commendable, but at the same time, I'm sure your mind is a little bit frazzled from being in that state a lot. Takes a toll.
I imagine the people who keep doing it are people who do have, like, they have problems, mentally. Not, I don't want to say mentally problems, but maybe they do have, like, issues that just either they keep delving into or they just haven't been able to work out. So maybe art for them is a therapy.
Yeah, it's an outlet, but I feel like if you're staying there, you're not really healing.
Yeah.
And it's, if you would rather go through that turmoil and make that art, that's fine. That is completely your choice. That's up to you. If you feel you're being true to yourself by doing that, more power to you, To each their own, again. I wouldn't judge somebody if they wanted to keep doing dark art and stay sad. That's just the type of person they are. And there's an audience for everything. So let's say you wanted to just draw turtles and party hats. I'm sure there is someone out there that would love it. There's something for everybody. So really, there's no point in also ever doing anything. Like, I feel like the people that do things that are popular aren't being true to themselves, because you do what makes you happy, and the people that like it, they'll find you and they'll follow you. You know, the people that are just doing things that are popular are kind of abusing the system a bit, just to get money or acclaim or something like that. Whereas, if you're doing something that's not really popular mainstream, who knows, it might be someday, you know? But your intention is what's important there. So I feel like you should always, do the things that make you happy, because more often than not, they'll make someone else happy. And then you'll both be happy, instead of you doing something that's popular and potentially making yourself sad by having to do that. I don't know, what do you guys think? I have very particular views on fan art. There are only a few instances I consider fan art okay. Otherwise, I don't really condone it. It feels weird to me that if you're doing art and it's not making you happy, why are you doing art? Like, is money that important? Because if it is, you shouldn't be doing art. Go be a lawyer. You know?
Not make money from arts that no one ever. I mean, I guess some of those people that do fan art make some pretty good money,
But that's the thing.
yeah.
Is what they're doing really art then? Like, what is art? Yeah, I know some people who just do fan art based on what is popular at the time, and I believe that is incredibly wrong. Like, if you do fan art, it should be because you like the property. Because then it'll be true to you when you're doing it, you know? Or, if not that, then somebody comes to you specifically for your style and what you've, cultivated over time and says, could I see Link in your style? Then they're coming to you for your work, technically. It's not the other way around where you have Link at your booth and they come to you and buy it because it's Link. And you've mass produced them to get money. I feel like it's completely different. What is the word I always use? The intention. The intention is completely different. Basically, Wubbles, that's how I view it. Other people view it different, that's fine. Personally, so I had a guy come to me on Etsy, and he wants a specific, Totoro Zelda mashup, which I like both of those things, and I agreed to do it. The only reason I'm agreeing to do it is because he came to me because he likes my art style, and he wants it from me that way. It's different if I had just made 100 copies of that, put it up in my booth, and people came and got it because it is what it is. I feel like there's a completely different intention there. It's mass production versus, like handcrafted with love. They would, Pylon. They totally would. That's the thing. There's, like I said, there's a market for everybody. I swear to God, no matter what you're into, someone will buy it, always. Gabe can back me up on this.
Yeah.
You could think of the weirdest stuff imaginable. We have really weird stories on what we've been asked to draw before. There is something for everyone. Now, Rifter, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying fan artists aren't artists. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying some fan artists just do it for the money, and they're not in it for art. They're not in it for getting well known for their own work. Some people are just doing it to make a buck. And I feel like it's pretty obvious when you can realize who's doing it for what reason. Yeah, it's all about intention, Like, I don't sell fan art at my booth. It's, like, number one sin to me. And I don't care if you're Marvel. I don't care if you're Disney. And doing Disney fan art is, like, absolutely illegal, too. Fan art in general is, like, illegal. Because it's someone else's IP. And you're making money off someone else's IP. And as I was saying, I don't care if you're Marvel. I don't care if you're a billion-dollar company. If I'm stealing from you, I'm stealing, and I won't do that. It's just a moral thing. That's another reason I don't think it's right to do fan art. You're doing yourself a disservice by spending the time to make these things that you should be spending that time on your art, your stories, your characters, your IP. Like that, it's mind-boggling to me sometimes that people aren't spending this time on themselves. Sure, they're, working on their craft still. Their technique and things are solidifying, but they're not using their entire brain when they're doing this. They're just interpreting, which is, it's fine. It's just, I personally don't see a benefit in that. Pylon, it might be a bot. Unless you know them. But yeah, if you guys want to sell fan art, if that's your thing, go for it. I mean, that's completely your journey, where you want to spend your time, all that. Like, whatever your end game is, you gotta think long term. That's the only thing I'm urging you to think of is long term. What are you doing with what you're doing? What is the final vision of yourself look like as an artist? Because if you're not revisiting that and then paralleling that, or contrasting it rather, to what you are now, you're not going to grow or anything. You should only compare yourself to yourself. Don't compare yourself to other artists. Don't compare yourself to other people's journeys. It's not going to work, and you're just going to feel bad about it and get discouraged. It's a waste of time. And time is precious. Rant over. Sorry, I get very passionate about the fan art button. Everyone at Von House knows this. Yeah, Wubbles, it's totally okay. I mean, you do it for you, and if you want to sell it, you can too. I have a friend who, she does fan art, and she sells it, but each one she hand makes. She doesn't do prints of it and mass produce it. She does each one by hand, and I still think that's okay, because she's taking the time for each one of them. Each one is original, each one is unique. I think that's okay. Sure, she's still not using her time, in my opinion, completely appropriately. she's also not working on any of her own stuff when she's doing that. She does do a webcomic on the side, which kind of balances it out. At least she's doing that. If she wasn't doing that, I'd probably say, hey, you are wasting your time. But she's very good. She does both. And I think that's fine. I think each situation is different. I'd rather not blanket all of them. But I do think if you're mass producing fan art and you don't have any original stuff that you're working on behind that, that's bad. That's really bad. Your intention is then to just make money, you don't care about art, and that's it. And it shows. Like when I go to conventions and all I see at someone's booth is fan art, it just, honestly, it makes me want to hurl. Like, I get so mad about it. I feel bad for that artist that they were wasting their time and not developing themselves.
It's almost like a waste of potential.
It's a waste of potential. Like, all that time could have been spent on you in developing a character that people could fall in love with, and you could be the next generation that people would want to make fan art for. If everyone makes fan art right now, if no one made any original content right now, in 20 or 30 years, there's not going to be any original content to make fan art of. It's just going to be fan art of fan art of fan art. And what?
You know who's getting rich? Marvel.
Yeah,
Disney.
then it's just Marvel's at the top and all that stuff. It's like, we need people to keep creating worlds. Otherwise, what is the point? So that's okay. Rant part 2 over. Sorry. Like I said, hot button. Stop pressing it, y'all. You're tripping my wire. It's still fan art because it's not 100% their IP. So in a way, it is still fan art. But I would give it more credit than I would give something that has already a visually designed, presence. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not black and white. There are gray areas, there's a bunch of exceptions, at least to me. You guys gotta remember, this is just me. Like, Tim thinks fan art's fine. Like, and Tim used to do fan art, and I went off on him when I got here. And I told him my views on it, and he saw my view. He doesn't do it anymore because he's working on swordplay and stuff. But he came from that route. And I also think if you're just coming up as an artist, you go to cons and stuff, you're still figuring out who you are as an artist, it's okay. Because you're still growing, you're still poking around with styles and stuff, that's okay. As long as your intentions are good, you eventually want to develop your own world, IP, all that stuff. Then, like I said, your intention is there. But if you're just in it to just make money, just do other people's characters, that's what I have a problem with. It's from their imagination, yeah, but at the same time, someone's telling them, okay, the character has this, 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 and this. Instead of someone sitting down at a blank piece of paper and developing a character from scratch. Completely different. One is an interpretation of someone's character that's still been established, the other is from nothing. So there's a lot more credit to be given to the person who's doing it from scratch. I don't like button pushers. I've had too many boyfriends that would do that to see me angry. It's not from a good place. But if you are genuinely curious, I'm totally fine with talking about it. It's just, I apologize if I get heated. It's, because I don't like people to waste their time or their potential, especially if they are good. Like people like Sakimi. It's like, what if Sakimi this entire time was doing their own thing? You know? They could have probably eventually made their own world.
It would have been awesome.
Yeah, and people would then, like, could have made them more money in the long run if you spend the time in the beginning establishing things. But, you know? Anyway. Do you want to go to pick and save, or what do you want to do?
Yeah.
You do?
Sure. Yeah.
What do you need to go for?
I need, food. Maybe
Hmm?
I think I might need some food. Probably need a meal. All of these rock dudes, you know?
Gorons?
Yeah, what are they? Gorgon?
Gorons.
Goron?
Yeah.
They walk like they have something stuck in their butts.
Well, they're made out of rock, so maybe they've got pebbles in their butts. If you do commissioned work for a book, graphic novel, or something like that, the author probably tells you the look of the characters. So they don't deserve the same credit as
It's a different thing.
I would even say no, because, I mean, they're still interpreting. So, no, they're not going to get the same credit as someone who 100% thought of the character and everything else from their mind. I mean, think of it on a percentage scale. How much of a percent did you think of this character? 100? Or just maybe what they look like? Because if an author already established a character, they're probably 50% of the way there. They just have to be shown what they look like. Or they already know it. They wear a hat, they wear overalls all the time, stuff like that. Like, the character is already there. Just because it's not visualized in an image doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's totally different to have something that exists, to realize it fully, than something that never existed and someone thinks of it on their own.
Like in my case, where I worked with a writer, and he told me, all right, we've got these characters, I need you to draw them. And so then I drew them, but those characters weren't my creation.
Yeah, Gabe can't claim those characters as his own.
Yeah. I can claim them as
if he draws for a comic, you know.
they're part of my creation.
Partly him, not fully. But when you make something that's fully yours, think if you made a character from scratch, let's say, and people start to love it, and, they really start drawing it and stuff, and then one day you go to a convention and you see drawings of a character you designed up on a booth and someone's selling them and making money off a character you 100% thought of. Think of how you'd feel about that. Like, sure, Marvel doesn't care that much, but if it's like an independent creator or something, and they 100% thought of it. I mean, yeah, it's flattering, but at the same time, that's money that could be going into your pocket, not theirs. Think of it that way. Like, you gotta put yourself in those shoes. Like, Rifter, if you do think of a totally different way to do a griffin, right? Let's say for whatever reason that griffin starts trending online after you post it, and somebody does their own version of it, but it's better, and then they start selling a print of it. Like, how would that make you feel? It's stuff like that. Don't let that scare you to not put up your drawings, though. You have to get known. It's kind of the double-edged sword of the art industry. But it's the raw truth of stuff. Like, things will get stolen if they're a good idea. The whole trick to it is you have to get known for that idea, that it's yours, before it gets stolen to the point it's not yours anymore. If that makes sense. Like, that's why it's sitting on ideas is a bad thing. You gotta get them out there. You know, make them known, make yourself known for them. It's not just financial, though. It's also completely personal. Like, when you get emotionally attached to a character you've made and someone else steals it, it's terrible. I had somebody for 6 months that actually was taking my work and claiming it was theirs on Twitter. For 6 months, and people were, praising them and everything for that much time. And people were asking, oh, can you draw this for me? Because I love your style and all this stuff. And this person's like, I don't really take commissions and blah, blah, blah. It's like, what? What would drive someone to do that? Like, intention is everything. And there are some people out there that just, I guess they just want that praise and that's it. They don't want to take it further. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. But that blew my mind. When I found out what she was doing, she destroyed the account, tried to cover up everything, and it was insane. Because somebody asked me, do you have 2 accounts? I said, no. They're like, okay, because this person is totally stealing your art then. I was like, what? And they absolutely were. Not only for a little amount of time, but for 6 months. It's insane. From that point on, I was pretty scared to post online, but at the same time, you have to still. Even when stuff like that happens, you have to keep doing it. It's more important then than ever. Yeah, it was absolutely terrible. It's one of the worst experiences I've ever had. But it's also a learning experience, I mean, that's straight up just theft, but, I don't know. I feel like it just comes down to morals, like stealing and whatever. The gasp.
Yeah, they're talking about Seattle.
It probably wasn't malicious intent, though. Like, I feel like maybe she just thought, oh, I could get, some praise off of this and feel good about myself for a while. And, have random people just tell me how great I am. She probably didn't think I'd ever find her. And I wouldn't if that one guy didn't tell me, hey, do you have 2 accounts? So I would have never found her. And so I don't think her intent was malicious. I think it was selfish for sure. But it just sucked. And I think she was younger too, but I think it scared her enough to know that what she did was wrong. Um, but yeah, it's messed up. The internet's a scary place, y'all. I feel like the internet is based solely off feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fan art for that reason is great. And that's what I'm saying. Intention. Intention. So if they're intending to make it because it makes them feel good, it makes other people feel good, they want to show, their admiration and love for something, cool. It changes when money gets involved. When you start wanting to make money off this thing that you did. And like I said, it even goes to if you have the original and you sell that, that's still not totally bad. It's getting there, but it's not as bad as mass producing that image and selling it. Then it's turned from admiration to monetary gain, and that's when the intention is turned. Does that make sense, Pylon? So I feel like maybe that wasn't hitting you. Yeah, it's all intent. Like, I used to do fan art too, but I never did it to get money. But I was wasting my time, because that time could have been spent on my own stories and things like that. My own characters, my own paintings and stuff. So yeah, I lost some time. Sure, I got out my admiration of something, but you could do that just by saying, hey, I like this, But intention. I'm looking at acrylic and oil paints, thinking about trying some. Do either you have any experience? Can you recommend one or the other for a beginner? Beginner? Acrylic.
Acrylic.
I have never done oil paints. I am too scared. I don't see a point to doing them either, honestly. Like, the gain you get from doing oil paints, I feel like it's not worth it. Like, you could make the same effect using other mediums instead of having to muck around with all oil paints have.
And you're gonna pay a lot less.
And you're gonna pay a lot less too, yeah. Oil paints are expensive. They're a whole time sink of learning, the ways around them, learning how to use them, all that. I would say acrylic definitely for a beginner. Then maybe watercolor when you feel advanced, but I don't think anyone ever needs to go to oil paints unless they're super curious or really want to, or trying to even emulate a look from a period where oil paints were important. Like, I'd be okay dying without ever using oil paints. The paints I've used are sufficient. Like, I love gouache. You guys probably don't get much exposure to gouache. I'll spell that for you, because usually it's spelled wrong. Gouache. Gouache is technically the love child of, watercolor and acrylic. So you can do washes and things like you do with watercolor, but you can also do opaque areas if you don't water it down as much like you can do with acrylic. So, I don't know, Gabe, I would almost say, gouache is a decent starter, even?
Probably.
Yeah, because
But it's also expensive.
Oh, not for the cheaper ones.
Like,
you could get that cheap set that's like $15.
I think the problem is that the only reason that it's not expensive for me is because I know how to use it, and I don't use it big quantities?
See, I actually found out I liked gouache from using my $15 set.
Okay.
So I would say try gouache. If you like one way more over the other, then you'd be like, okay, I don't like doing washes. I like this opaqueness that I'm getting. Maybe I'll try acrylics. If you like the washiness, try watercolors. Gouache is a really nice in between, and where acrylic will dry and dry plasticky, gouache you can keep reworking it, and you can add water to it, and it'll reconstitute it to the point where you can work it some more. Gabe and I love gouache. Gouache is wonderful. You can use it on a lot of different media too, like you can do it on wood. I've done it on wood before.
Brown
You
paper?
can you can do it on brown paper. I've done a piece on brown paper with it. Yeah, you can do so much with it. Like I am so surprised like a lot of people don't know about it or
Mhm.
haven't been told. It's either acrylic or watercolor with
Mhm.
some. It's like no, gouache exists and it's great. So I would actually urge anybody who wants to start painting, go to like your art store and pay $15 for a little gouache set. If you like it and you like all the variants of it, maybe put your money into getting better gouache. Or if you like one way to use it over another, go to either watercolor or acrylic. There's a lot of options. And I mean, if you're really curious about oil paints, I don't even know where you'd start. I'd want to know why you're curious about oil paints. But yeah. That is unbeknownst to me. I can't tell you one way or the other about oil paints. Just that they are a commitment. Completely. Like, I feel like if you start oil paints, you're stuck with oil paints for a very long time. Or else you've wasted money and time and all that. So,
Cleaning them's a pain.
yeah, cleaning them's a pain. You have to use all these other things like thinners. Not necessarily turpentine anymore. They have water-based ones, but there's still a process, you know. Like I said, I've never used them. I have no want to use them. I feel like you can get the same look using other things. Especially digital. If you want the look of oil paint, just get good at digital.
Mhm.
Digital has the hardest time recreating like things like watercolor. That's
Yeah.
why I feel like watercolor is so sought after. It's because you can't do that digitally. You know, people love it because it's raw, because you can't tame it, because you have to work with mistakes, all that stuff. It's exciting because it's so, what's the word? Wily. You can't tame it. You can understand it, but you can't really tame it. I did go to art school, yeah. No, we didn't use oil paint there. Partially, actually, high school we had art classes. College art classes, nowhere were we made to use oil paint. Partially because the school, I'm sure, wouldn't be able to afford oil paint.
Mhm.
But also, like I'm saying, it's very niche. It's not. There's no reason to use it. Like, you know.
I guess if you want to do like really nice portraits, okay, or
Yeah, but
stuff
even
like that.
then, you can get that look without it.
You know, like with the I think Pete convinced me that if you just have like he was doing the piece he was doing when he was here
Yeah.
with acrylic, he was using acrylic and acrylic medium, and he made it look like oil.
Yeah, okay. So you guys know Peter Moorbacher, I'm sure? The guy that did Angelarium, all those kind of surreal angels and stuff. We have him up here once in a while for art jams and stuff. I'm sure you've heard that through Tim. But he says the same thing about oils. You can get the same look by using other things. Like, he does fine using acrylic, like, in, you know, in a way where it mimics oil, you know? So, oil isn't essential. You don't need it. I mean, it's totally an if you're curious thing. I know Camilla de Errico uses oils, but they're like water-based oils. So it's completely up to you. I think people just want that smoothness when they use them, but like, you just have to work acrylic into being super smooth. Stuff like that. It might take more time, but you can get the look. Plus, like I said, you're gonna save money. So oils can be expensive. Like, I don't even know how you start using oils. Like, without a big bank account, a big like, money sink.
I mean, I guess if you just got, like, a few tubes.
Or if you got hand-me-downs from someone.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know what art school actually makes you use oil paint. Maybe in Europe?
Well, probably, like, actual, like...
Maybe an academy or something.
Like actual schools.
Like a private school or something that costs a lot of money.
I think we,
Our schools were a little bit different.
our schools were, what do they call them?
Cheap?
Trade schools.
Trade schools, okay.
So we didn't learn, or vocational schools, I guess, also.
Like, maybe if you're in a school for fine art,
Mm-hmm.
they would maybe give you like an introductory course or something on oil. But that's for fine art. Like, Gabe and I went to college for media arts and animation. That's why I was in mobile games for 10 years. And Gabe's in comics now. Like, when you set out on your little career journey, there's no, no telling where you'll go. So you end up where you end up, based on the choices. Yeah, a lot of oil artists I know are really old school. Like, they either started using it and now, like, I don't know any oil artists though that don't use that use other things. I think all the oil artists I know are stuck using oils.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've just put too much time, effort, and money into it, that if they use something else, they'd be losing money or something, Like I said, their commitment. I mean, if you want to do that, awesome. Do it, get good at it. But otherwise, if you're kind of wavering on it, I would say no. If you're not sure, say no. You have to do your research on it. Anything takes a long time to master. Master's such a subjective term. I don't know.
Everything takes a long time to master.
That's what I said. That's what I just said. And it's recorded so I can prove it. Gabe would know. Actually, Gabe would be a good one to start, because he's actually talked about teaching watercolor and gouache, so,
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna have to.
I'm saying.
At some point. Was I gonna have watercolor Wednesdays?
Yeah, but what could you do for gouache? Gouache Tuesday?
Well, it would be watercolor Wednesdays plus gouache.
Okay. I would say Gabe, for one. Other gouache artists, I love Nima Sprout. Her stuff is kind of my favorite. Gabe probably has his own recommendations.
I don't, unfortunately.
How do you not?
James Gurney?
Gurney uses that?
I mean, he does gouache. I mean, he uses watercolors, but he also uses gouache.
Gouache is fantastic too because you can get so many looks out of it. Like here, I wonder if I've got. Hold on.
Actually, James Gurney might be like the one to go to because he has actual.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. So James Gurney is a good example of realism with gouache.
Yeah.
Nema Sprout is a very good version of like fantasy with gouache. So another example is, let's see. So this painting I did this with gouache on the toned paper. So that's gouache. Like you can get so many looks out of gouache depending on the colors you use. Like it's extremely versatile, which is one of the reasons I really love it. You can do whatever you want with it. And it's also cool because let's say you did a whole piece in watercolor. If you wanted to go in later and add gouache, you totally could. If you screwed up on some areas with watercolor, use gouache. You can fix them. Like gouache is a really nice crutch too, so it's just good all around for beginners, advanced. I don't know. I can't recommend it enough. cute. I know, but that's chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah, take it.
Mm.
Take it. He's like, what? Where'd it go? Oh. Oh, Hammy. I don't think they're gonna know.
Oh, we'll move on.
I mean, if we're gonna eat, they gotta move. Also, they had the hot tub running, so I imagine the project would eventually.
You know he runs that hours before they use it.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've even had dinner yet.
Oh no, they didn't. Actually, Tyler and Sean.
Yeah, Deandra and Tim have.
I think Deandra might have eaten something, but Deandra just brought like snacks anyways. I don't think she actually eats.
I was saying more because they wouldn't move, we could go to the Denny's or something.
Oh yes.
But you totally miffed that up.
Okay, but no, now you're going.
I don't know now. I had too much time to regret it.
Oh my god. Mm.
Night, Wobbles. Thank you.
Sorry.
Problem is, if we go to Denny's, we won't be able to watch a movie and eat dinner.
Mm.
And I'm actually okay still with chili and biscuits.
Yes, I forgot about that. Thank you for
How did you forget about that?
because Denny's.
Because badass.
You could get a burger.
Yeah, but I want chili.
But then there's also pizza.
But I want chili.
You want chili more than pizza?
Maybe.
Oh.
Then we have to go get a pizza.
Hmm?
But then we have to get a pizza.
It can come to us.
Oh. It's like that.
Listen, when I want pizza, and I don't swear often, but when I do, I want fucking pizza right. Okay. If I'm gonna pizza, I want pizza right.
Am I gonna order one right now?
No. I'm saying if I do it right. However, if we do order pizza, I can order pop.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
I'm this close.
Let's do it.
Though I could see them being mad at us for not including them.
Well, I mean, we could just say, hey, we're gonna order pizza.
Yeah, but I don't always want to order their stuff for them either.
But also, Sean and Tyler already ate.
Okay, so there you go.
Tim will want pizza.
You can order pizza to your home. The future's now. You can order pizza with shoes. I don't know if you've seen those, but they're like, what are they, Nike?
Reebok down.
Nike or Reebok has a shoe where you press the tongue and it orders pizza to your location based on presets you set up online. So that's insane. And really bad for America. But also extremely smart. But that's so America, it hurts. You know? Also, I really miss Chipotle.
All the things.
I'm really hungry right now.
Maybe let's just stop and order pizza.
Of course it's...
Of course I
I feel like the problem with fan art is no one ever thought of it like that. You know? In all the reasons I've brought up. No one thinks about it. Like, if you thought about it for a while,
Oh, yeah.
if anybody thought about it for more than just a couple minutes, like, they'd understand. Especially if you're an artist, too. You know?
I think the problem is that people, they see it makes money, so then they're like, alright, well, I can't afford... Okay, so, like, my
Agreed.
situation was that I would,
Oops. I just realized this. Sorry, Gabe, your situation what?
My situation was that I would get a table, and then, like, when I first started getting tables, and then I would only have original art at my table. But I wasn't selling anything. And then everyone was selling original, or everyone was selling fan art. So I'm like, well, damn, I'm tired of not making any money. So then I started doing fan art, and then I saw, oh man, I'm making bank. Not really, I wasn't making bank, but I was making a lot, considerably, a lot more than regular. So then I'm like, well, this isn't bad. But then all the original art I had, nobody wanted. Because they were just, it got overlooked by all my fan art.
Yep.
So then I started feeling poopy.
AKA my reason about disservice to you.
Yeah.
I even labeled that light. It says kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I need food. Sorry guys, I'm cutting it short now. I might be on later doing this, otherwise I might just finish these off stream. I can't decide right now. So, thanks for joining me for however long this was. Almost 3 hours? Jesus. Yeah. So in other words, see you soon either way. I'm sure tomorrow I'll do something. But yeah, I might also still be on later tonight. I just need to eat. I'm hangry. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.
Alright.